Hi everybody, welcome to my next tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about how to pass the TranscribeMe exam. I'm going to give you 10 different tips of how to pass the exam. I've done a tutorial on the application process, and if you've watched my videos, you know that I don't support cheating, so I don't want to directly give you the answers. Also, the audio constantly changes depending on when you're doing the application, because they want to avoid people just putting and copying and pasting answers. So what I have done instead to help you even further is compile a list of 10 things that I know you need to know for the exam. Some of these are little bits of information that you'll need to answer the multiple choice sections. So I'm going to give you some of the most important things to know from the style guide that will be on the test, and also give you some tips for what you need to know when you're transcribing the audio sections of the exam. So let's get started. Okay, tip number 1 is don't use speaker labels. Unlike most other transcribing platforms, you don't need to label each speaker. When you are doing the audio transcription test, simply press Enter once on your keyboard to start typing on a new line to indicate a new speaker or a change of speaker. So you don't need to put any dashes or anything to indicate a speaker change, you just need to write on a new line. So again, following tip 1, it's new speaker, new line. So here's a little example. This was from mine, audio L. So obviously you'll press play when you're doing the test and listen to this audio. And then you're going to start, and his name, for example, and his name is Carl. How do you know Carl? He is a friend of mine. So if I'm doing this, that means we have speaker 1, then speaker 2, and then speaker 1 again. So every time there's a new speaker or a change of speaker, you're just going to write on a new line. You don't have to press Enter twice, just press Enter once to go to a new line. Tip number 2 is always begin with a lowercase letter. So you're going to start each job with a lowercase letter unless the word is a proper noun. Because most of these transcription tasks are small chunks that are part of one long text, so you cannot assume that it is the beginning of a new sentence and start with a capital letter. And if you aren't a grammar expert and you don't know what a proper noun is a specific, i.e. not a generic name for a particular person, place, or thing. Proper nouns are always capitalized in English, no matter where they fall in a sentence. So common nouns would be a girl, a city, a day, and as you can see, these are all obviously lowercase letters. And proper nouns, Laura, London, Wednesday. So if the first word in the first sentence that you're listening to is a common noun, like girl, city, or day, for example, you'll start with a lowercase letter. But if it's a proper noun, like the name of a person or a city or a day or anything that you would have to capitalize, then you would capitalize it. So for example here, and his name is Carl, I would start that with a lowercase, not a capital, because I don't know what's coming before this little chunk that I have, so that's what you would do. Tip number 3, also very important when you're transcribing for the exam, don't end the file with punctuation. Don't end the file with punctuation except the closing bracket of a tag, in the event you had to use a tag, even if you are sure it is the end of a sentence. Again, because we are transcribing small chunks of a larger file, we cannot assume the end of a sentence. So here, imagine this was my little transcription task. Joe and Carl came to my wedding. Next speaker, what did they wear? Next speaker, Joe wore a suit and Carl wore jeans. Say this is the end, and there's nothing more I'm transcribing. I can't end this in a period. I just have to leave it. Okay? Okay, tip number 4, don't transcribe crutch words. Maybe you're wondering what is a crutch word? So this is from the TranscribeMe style guide. A crutch word or phrase is an utterance that a speaker consistently uses that does not add meaning to what is being said. They are usually used when a speaker is searching for a thought and deciding how to properly express what he or she is trying to say. So some of these words, like, you know, right, kind of, sort of. So we will always remove like and you know and words like this only when they do not add meaning to the sentence. So this is their example. So, you know, if the speaker talks like this, etc. we would remove these, and that way it would sound much cleaner. So if the speaker talks like this, then please remove the crutch words to make it readable, okay? That's very important to remember as well when you're doing the transcribing. Tip number 5 is know your tags. Now this is important because this will be on the multiple choice test or exam. When I was transcribing my pieces of audio, I understood everything that was said, so I didn't need to use any of the tags like inaudible, but this is information you need to know for the multiple choice part of the exam. Also pay attention to the type of bracket used and how and when we use them. Okay, so inaudible. Now I want you to look at the type of bracket. And so it's not one of the round ones, and also note that it begins with a lowercase letter. This tag takes the place of one or more words that you cannot make out due to a difficult accent, poor audio quality, a noise like a cough obscuring the words, or a word that you couldn't decipher after thorough research. So, example, inaudible is the best inaudible I've ever heard of. So if you can't understand what they're saying because of any of these things, then you will do a tag like this. And again, even though this is the beginning of a sentence, it will always have a lowercase letter, the I in inaudible. Okay? Crosstalk. The crosstalk tag functions the same way as the inaudible tag in that it stands in for words that you are not able to decipher. The difference is the reason for not being able to understand the words. This tag, oh, I have two is here, ignore that, is not used to represent where a speaker interjected over another. It is only used to stand in for a speaker's words that you cannot understand due to another primary speaker talking over them. So, for example, did you get the papers and crosstalk? We would put crosstalk when the reason we can't understand what they're saying is because someone is speaking over them or interjecting them. So that's when we're going to use crosstalk. Yeah, crosstalk, the papers, definitely. Okay? Foreign. If one or more speakers are conversing in a foreign language, please represent the dialogue with the foreign tag. If, however, they are speaking English and throw in a foreign word or phrase that you can find with an internet search, transcribe what they say. So I know some companies like Rev, they don't want you to ever transcribe anything in a foreign language. Even one time I remember getting penalized for transcribing some Spanish words, even though they were like something like plátano, which is banana. But here they want you to, only if it's an easy one and you can find it with an internet search quickly. So for example, so he turns to me and goes, "Mi casa es su casa," as we say back home. "¿Cómo estás?" Because "mi casa es su casa" is like, easy enough to find. A lot of people say it in English. You can put that in there in Spanish and also use the accents. Now, if you can't find the term after searching, then you can use the foreign tag instead of inaudible. So he told me he wanted a foreign. I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't have one." So for example, say he said some food word and you couldn't find it and you didn't know the spelling, you would just put foreign. Okay, now we have the guess tag. If you're not sure what the words are, but you are able to make a reasonable guess that would fit the context of the file, then put your guess into brackets followed by a question mark. So you would put your guess here and then a question mark. Unlike the other tags listed in this section, you are expected to modify the guess tag to reflect your guess. The text within the tag can comprise a single word, like this, or it may be a short phrase, like this. Now, note that both these words are in the same brackets. You wouldn't put a bracket like and then a bracket this. You just put it like this inside the same bracket, with the question mark inside the bracket as well. Okay, so here's an example of what you would not do, and this is an example of what you would do. Also note that if you can't figure out if a speaker is saying one thing or another, you cannot put two guesses within the same tag. Pick what is most appropriate based on the context of the file. So he gave away 3 free kittens. Don't put both, just put one. He gave away 3 kittens, or he gave away free kittens. Okay? Tip number 6, transcribe using proper spelling. From the TranscribeMe Style Guide. Informal pronunciations. Informal words should be transcribed using their proper spelling, not based on pronunciation. So if someone says gonna or gotta or wanna, don't spell it like this. Again, this is important because other transcribing platforms want you to do the informal way, but TranscribeMe does not. They want you to write going to, got to, want to, etc. Spelling guidelines. Again, this is important to know because every single transcribing website has different rules about this. For the sake of consistency, we adhere to these specific spelling rules. So okay, we're going to spell it like this, not okay, okay, or K. All right is spelled all right. A lot like this. US or USA, not US or USA with the dots there. Email like this, internet like this. Okay, so just to have this in your mind when you are transcribing, if you hear any of these words, you're going to write them like this. Tip number 8, removing feedback words. So at TranscribeMe, we consider feedback words to be anything that someone says while another person is talking, when the sole purpose of these words is to let the speaker know they are still listening or to passively acknowledge what they're saying. So, for example, if you're on the phone with your friend and they're telling you a story and you're responding with, right, but you're not actually saying anything that's contributing to the conversation, those are just feedback words. So common feedback words include, but are not limited to, phrases such as right, okay, got it, yeah, great, etc. So do not interrupt the main speaker's speech like this. So I went all the way to the mall, right, and I found a new job. Okay, great. I'm working at one of the kiosks. So you'd take these out, but if it was here, you could go, okay, great, yeah, and which kiosk did you pick? So we're going to remove such utterances unless they lead immediately into further speech by the speaker who said the feedback word. So, for example, here, I'm working at one of the kiosks. Okay, great. Yeah, and which kiosk did you pick? Because the speaker is continuing to say something else afterwards, we can include those. So to recap, feedback words can be removed when they sit on a line by themselves, i.e., it doesn't lead into other speech. They don't answer a direct question, aren't acknowledged by anyone commenting on the topic at hand. Knowing when to transcribe background or side conversations. This is tip 9. As a general rule, we transcribe the main speakers and their interactions with anyone else in the file. When deciding what to include or exclude from the file, note that if the main speakers have no interaction with those speaking in the background does not need to be transcribed. However, if the main speakers interact with or somehow acknowledge the other speakers, they become relevant to the transcript and must be included. Okay, so let's say you're transcribing a conversation between a man and a woman at dinner, and the man and the woman are discussing and they're talking back and forth, and you hear maybe in the background, you hear a waitress asking someone else, can I take your order? You don't need to put that in the transcription because that has no relevance to what you are transcribing. Now, if the waitress asked the speakers, can I take your order? And she was talking to them and they answered her, then you would transcribe it, okay? Finally, tip number 10 is watch your numbers. So the general numbers rule, we spell out numbers 0 to 9. So we spell them out like this, 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way to 9. We use numerals to represent numbers 10 or above. However, certain types of numbers cause exceptions to this rule. Each category listed here is explained in more detail below. So we always spell out fractions and inexact numbers, and always numerals for decimals, money, percents, addresses, time, dates, phone and serial numbers, biblical references, mathematical equations. Now, we also have some exceptions for consistency, where multiple numbers occur within a sentence or paragraph, maintain consistency in the immediate context. So, for example, if you look here, it says, he had 15 ties but only 2 socks. Now, if this said he had 2 socks, we would spell 2, T-W-O. But because we have he had 15 and this number is more than 10, then we can put the numerical value 15. And then this one, to make it consistent, we also put the numerical value of just 2, because both of these are in the same category, articles of clothing. Now, if it's a different category, so look, after 5 days, it was only 15% complete. Even though these are 2 numbers, this number is referring to days, and this number is a percentage referring to something else that's not days. Okay, so here you can have 1 written out and 1 not written out. Okay, so that's all of my tips for the exam. I think these are the most important things you need to know. I think if you've listened to this video and listened to all the tips really carefully, that you have a really good chance of passing this exam. There might be a bit more information you need to know, and all of that will be in the style guide that you've been sent when you've applied to TranscribeMe. There's a really long style guide, but this is the most important stuff that you need to know to pass the exam. So thank you very much for watching my video. Feel free to click like or subscribe to my channel if you want more videos on how to make money online and tips and honest reviews on each of these money-making platforms. Thanks for watching.